13. A month passed. At Oasis, time had resumed its careful retune. Reports were taken, adjustments were made. Words like containment and yield were used more often than names. Whatever sickness followed the test was not discussed openly. What mattered was that work had been proven possible. Matthew went to the cafeteria just before lunch. The room had a different. Professor Verne stood near the radio with several others, their plates untouched, their posture oddly still. No one was speaking. The radio was on. Matthew slowed and joined them. No one acknowledged him at first. The announcement said, "Officials confirmed earlier today." Matthew searched the faces, shock, anger, relief. He found none of it. The expressions were unreadable, as if emotion had been postponed until further notice. He leaned toward Susan. "What happened?" he said quietly. She shook his head. "The president ordered a magical nuclear strike on a Neonese city." The words settled slowly, as if gravity applied to them differently. Matthew left the room tilt, not physically. Matthew felt the room tilt, not physically, but morally. A realization slid into place, clean and irreversible. The sunstone had not been a test. It had been a rehearsal. Around them, the cafeteria remained intact. Trays clattered in the distance. Someone laughed too loudly, then stopped. The radio continued, listing details that sounded clinical. Matthew thought that the crater in the desert of smoke, of air that tasted wrong. Somewhere, a city no longer existed in the way it had that morning. Matthew Verne reached and turned the radio off. The silence was heavier than the sound spoke of. No one spoke. They stood together, bound but not in celebration or guilt, but in the knowledge that could not be returned once it had been received. Matthew realized that history had been crossed in a distant Oasis and had been done using his own hands.